Hello, San Angelo. I'm James Bellini.
And I'm Tessa.
The San Angelo Police Department held a press conference this morning concerning the Lakeview resource officer and another officer that allegedly failed to make a child abuse report.
Also, there was a firefighter response at Veribest High School today.
Before the news, Tessa, you spoke with Pat Green yesterday.
I did, and he was really nice. He's out at Cooper's tonight, so go out there and catch that and watch that interview.
Yep, we're going to get into that interview right after these messages from Jim Bass and Carpet Tech.
Save big on new and used cars and trucks at BassBunch.com.
When anyone needs a new car or truck, where do they go?
That's easy, BassBunch.com.
What? It's BassBunch.com.
Everybody knows BassBunch.com.
BassBunch.com. Did I hear right?
There is only one place, BassBunch.com.
If you want to save a bunch of money, the only place to shop is BassBunch.com.
My name is Cade Simmons. I'm the site manager here in San Angelo. What matters to our customers, I believe, is what we say is CT quality, CT experience, just making sure their needs are met, taking care of their home like it was ours. You just have to keep thinking of, it's never the wrong time to do the right thing. So just making sure you're taking care of what needs to be taken care of, and just knowing that they can rely on us, I think, matters to them a lot.
Okay. Awesome. Welcome, Pat Green. How are you today?
Fine, Tessa. How are you today? I'm doing great, thanks.
Oh, I'm doing good. A little nervous, but you're a pretty big name in the music industry. But
oh, come on.
Well, you are.
You flatter me.
Good. You should be flattered. You are at the start of a very busy tour. It seems to be with Christoval. Is your second show tomorrow? How are you? Are you excited or?
Yeah, I mean, we've been on the road for such a long time that being out there doesn't scare. I get a little lonely for my family, but I think that's pretty normal.
Right. I mean, how could you not?
Right.
I did just interview Ted Nugent, and he was talking about that, how he doesn't go anywhere if he can't drive home in the same night.
Yeah, that's pretty close to what we do too.
It's so funny to me. Well, not funny, but it's awesome that you can do that. What comes to your mind when you think of playing for a smaller town like Christoval? And I mean, we're not your venue,
Well, I've been playing at Cooper's there for a number of years, and Christoval is just a beautiful, great little spot there on the side of the road where it seems like everybody gets along great. I've always had a great time there.
Yeah, Cooper's is a great time. I don't think I've ever seen a fight break out there or anything.
There you go.
But I'm sure you got a couple more years experience on me going out there.
I've seen a few fights in my life, but never won there either. So yeah.
Right. That's what it's always nice out there. Everybody just gets along. How does playing a smaller show compare to your bigger venues? Does it liven you up or?
I think honestly, most of us in the music business kind of jacking your line is 10 or 10,000. You kind of try to put on the same show. So that's kind of the words I live by. If it's a big crowd or a little crowd, I try to do the same, have the same level of excitement.
Which is awesome because we just don't really see that a lot out here with these bigger names like Pat Green. Just a lot of guys come out and they just don't necessarily give it their all because it's wasted energy to them. But it's nice.
I'll try my best.
Which, thank you. We appreciate that. Do you have any favorite memories of Cooper's or any West Texas shows?
Most of the time, my favorite memories is the barbecue, but no, I love going out there. Like I said, playing a country show. It feels like playing Lukenbach or Green Hall or some of the more amazing places around our state. It's certainly up there on the top of the list.
That is awesome. You've had a long and respected career in Texas country. What inspires you to keep making music after all these years and staying true to the music that you create?
I don't know what else I'd do. I've got to do something. I can't just lay around on the couch all day long. So
pay those
bills.
I
don't know. This makes sense to me.
Right. Your song "Wave on Wave" has almost 53 million streams on Spotify. What is it like to look down and see that number in correlation with your name?
Well, I didn't know that, so thanks for telling me. But that's a heck of a lot of folks, and that song certainly has taken me a long way through life. So I'm very grateful that I think that song landed on me.
That is awesome. How has your songwriting kind of evolved since Wave on Wave?
I think what I try to do is I try to keep it fresh. What's on my mind right this minute, and then write about that and tell the truth about whatever I feel about it. And that's generally speaking exactly how I do it. So it's not, I don't know, it's not as much of a process as you think it is. It's pretty simple.
I would feel like, are there any crazy, like on the road, something popped in your head, you came up with a song, or?
Well, Wave on Wave popped into my head in the middle of the night, and I was in a parking lot at a Walmart in Birmingham, Alabama, when that came across my mind. So when Wave on Wave came across my mind. So I'm always just trying to pay a little bit of attention for when it happens.
What is the music writing process? Like, what does that look like for you as far as putting everything together and getting going?
I just try to get a good solid thought. First of all, the music is the most important thing by far. And then I have a good solid, a jump off point is what I call it, or a come out line. Just the first shot over the bow has to be pretty good, or the whole song kind of usually just drifts away for me.
Right. You mentioned before that whether it's a show for 10 or 10,000, you try to give it the same, give it your all. Do you still get nervous on stage?
Oh, for sure. Everybody gets nervous when they go on stage. It's just it's the nature of it. It's like the first pitch of a baseball game, the first shot at a golf tournament. The first thing, those first few moments are full of nerves, and then you kind of calm down and you get in the rhythm and you just kind of start cruising.
Right. Did you ever think that your career would take off the way it did?
I sure hope so. I was pretty certain that's what I wanted to do for a living, and so when the opportunity presented itself, I certainly grabbed the bull by the horns.
Right. It's a good thing that this is what you wanted, because it worked out for you.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I would not be a very good basket weaver. I've landed on what I'm supposed to be.
Right. Are there any upcoming songs or new releases we get to look
Sure. Yeah, we just recorded 3 more songs. Me and Corey Morrow have been talking about doing another record together. So there's always something in the hopper.
Awesome. How do you want to be remembered in the Texas music scene for years to come?
I don't think that's up to me, to be completely frank. But I've always just been a really good, happy-go-lucky, carefree kind of guy, and so I don't think too much about it. I just let it happen.
You are very nice. It was I was nervous for no reason, but you're very nice. So you got it going for you. Do you have any last minute words for the people in Christoval or the people of San Angelo?
I just can't wait to come back, and I can't wait to get my hands on some of that barbecue.
The best barbecue I've ever had. Well, we appreciate you coming out here, and I appreciate you for doing this interview, Pat. It has been a pleasure talking to you.
Absolutely my pleasure. You have a great day, okay?
You too. Thank you.
See you, TK.
In news, the San Angelo Police Department held a press conference this morning at the McNeese Convention Center concerning 2 officers.
First, Officer Jonathan Montana has resigned but will not face criminal charges. This comes after 24-year-old Abraham Gonzalez was arrested for improper relationships with a student.
That's the Lakeview School Resource Officer. And second, Officer Rodrigo Hernandez has been placed on unpaid temporary suspension after failing to make a child abuse report. We'll go to San Angelo Police Chief Travis Griffith for the press conference.
I just want to say good morning and thank you all guys for being here. I ran on accountability and transparency, and I want you to understand that that's a difficult road sometimes. And as we work through issues that come up inevitably in every organization, we have stuff that we need to talk about. We're public employees. We answer to the public as an elected chief. And so that means a lot to me, and I'm not the kind of guy that just says something and never follows through. So in the case, we're going to give an update in regards to the situation that occurred. We gave a press conference about the Lakeview incident with an SRO. On March 13th, the San Angelo Police Department was contacted to conduct an investigation of an inappropriate relationship between an educator and a student at Lakeview High School. Our Criminal Investigations Division responded and conducted that investigation. During the investigation, communication was also found between that same student and one of our school resource officers. officer was found to be Jonathan Montana. And from the moment that this came to light, I want to make it clear there was never any allegations of criminal wrongdoing. However, we make sure, right? We trust but verify. We look at every angle to make sure, because we don't want something being no stone left unturned. And in the course of that, though, with it being such a serious nature of allegations of what we were seeing, and especially in what we call conduct unbecoming, we placed that officer on administrative leave with that. And during that time frame, we conducted our internal investigation alongside the completion of our criminal investigation from our CID, alongside an investigation from the Sheriff's Department, because we believe in transparency, right? So you can't just not have somebody else look at this, right? We want another organization. With that being said, the Sheriff's Department is, the Sheriff Hanna in particular, was a longtime Texas Ranger and one of the best Texas Rangers I've ever had the pleasure of working with. He understands criminal investigations and internal investigations better than probably anybody I know. So we trust him with that. And so that they began their investigation. In that communication, you can have something that is lawful but awful, is what we sometimes say in law enforcement. We found no wrongdoing through our criminal investigation, through the Sheriff's Department criminal investigation. But again, I wanted another layer of protection there, so we contacted the District Attorney's Office to review all the information, all the body camera, everything that we'd done in our investigation. And that information came to light that there was no criminal wrongdoing. However, just because it doesn't meet a criminal standard, we have higher standards inside the San Angelo Police Department. And the conduct that did occur was not in line with our procedures and who we believe we should be. In the course of that investigation, the officer decided to separate from the agency, and we concluded our investigation at the time of that separation. And I'd like to keep these two separate because we're going to go into another one, so I'll open for questions on that.
So, in a straightforward way, the officer in question resigned?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I don't got it.
All right. We're going to move into another one. We're going to deal with yesterday, one of our San Angelo Police Department officers, Rodrigo Hernandez, was arrested in the course of an investigation that has been ongoing since March 26th. On that date, a San Angelo Police supervisor reviewed body-worn camera footage of an incident that occurred, and they realized right away that Officer Hernandez did not meet the required reporting standards under the law of an incident that occurred. The seriousness of this and what many would classify as a gross negligence in this was what prompted us to see that this was a violation of the law and that it merited a criminal review. And so we paused our internal investigation, right? We started a complaint that was definitely not in line with the standards of the police department. But we paused our internal review and we turned that case over to the Tom Green County Sheriff's Department. I know the sheriff himself is working in this, and we wanted to let that go through. And I think that's important to understand that we fall under what's called civil services 143 of the local government, of the Texas Government Code. And so there's certain laws that we have to follow as a part of the San Angelo Police Department that we are obligated to follow. And so when we did this internal investigation, we restricted his duty initially, just when we had the internal, and then when we turned it over to the Sheriff's Department and realized that this was going to meet the standard, that we placed him on administrative leave with pay. Again, we're following procedures that's laid forth under civil service. As soon as the Sheriff's Department completed their investigation, they turned it over to the Tom Green County Attorney's Office. And we received information that this was going to be prosecuted because of the nature of it. Now, I want to make it clear that our next steps that we took do not force any merit to the criminal case, right? They are separate. They are not connected, and that's why you see that verbiage, and also why you see the word temporary, because temporary is something that we look at based under what I'm allowed to do under the law. That is law of the Government Code 154.056 allows us to place people on unpaid leave. So still currently a member, but unpaid. That's a different step than what we've done in the past. Usually what we see with criminal investigations in the past, we would just simply place them on paid leave and let that run through. If probable cause exists that you've committed a crime, and that's been alleged, and the judge has looked at this, then we're going to place people on unpaid leave. And then we'll walk through our internal investigation. And so that's where we're at in this. The allegation in the law in question is failed to make a required child abuse report. It's a Class A misdemeanor. It's designed for professionals. It's designed that you have a requirement, and the law has said that you have to do certain things, regardless of whether or not you're the police or a teacher or a nurse, something of that nature. And so that's where this is at. I want to make it clear that, again, being placed on unpaid leave does not give any merit to the criminal case. It means that that's where we're conducting our internal case, and we will share updates as we go. The law, a reference of 154.056 is a temporary statute inside that process to either be reinstated or to be terminated. If what holds to be true, right, I can tell you that that kind of stuff will not be tolerated inside the San Angelo Police Department. But we give due process and we allow the law to go through, just like every other citizen gets. That due process is important under every aspect of our Constitution and what we stand for. So I want that to be clear, that this is not special treatment from an officer. This is what every citizen gets. And these two cases are in the 1 percentile of our department, right? These do not represent the totality of the hard work that's done every day. But I will not stand by and wait in the shadows when we have stuff that occur that does not meet the standard or that's a violation of the law. And that's what, even though it's hard, we will walk through being transparent and open. So I will open that up for questions.
How often do you go through police officers' body camera footage?
Yeah, so we have some sergeants do it more than others, but we look at that once a month. There's a set number that we require supervisors to review, and we keep logs of that.
Was this if it's part of the investigation, I understand, but was this something that could have been easily missed, or is this something that could be trained to be watched out for more, or something like that?
I would say that it's of such a nature that it prompted this, right? So this is not something that's just willy-nilly. We look at it as mistakes, right? The law is pretty explicit in that, and so without going into more detail than that, then that's where we have to stay at, because again, we're respecting due process. We're not going to release information that is as an ongoing criminal side, and that's what we used to say in the 90s, right? This is an ongoing criminal, no statement. I'll tell you what's going on. I just can't tell you the aspect of some things while we waited, right? Talking about the other officer, right? It's because we have a process, we have laws we have to follow under the local government code and the procedures, and that's important to us. I will say that no matter what the outcome of this case, we are going to make sure that students and youth are taken care of. The most vulnerable of citizens, we will stand by regardless of whether or not you're the police or you're an average person. We will hold the standard fairly across the board. Thank you all very much.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
All right, out in the county, Veribest School District had a bit of a scare today when an electrical odor was detected at the elementary school. Moretta and Wall volunteer fire departments and the Tompkins County Sheriff's Office responded, but no staff or students were injured.
As far as things to do this weekend, the St. Joseph's Fiesta Festival is going on. Pat Green is out at Christoval tonight, and there's a big-time drag race going on at the Contra Valley Dragway. And on tonight, I believe, right?
Tonight and tomorrow.
Tonight, oh wow. And on Sunday, head over to the ArcLight Bar and Grill when 20% of food sales will go towards a single mother who needs a brain surgery.
And we'll get into weather right after this word from Jay Chandler.
It's hard to believe how reckless some people can be and how hard they fight against real victims. You need a partner who consistently beats the giants and who will never, ever flinch.
In weather, it's hot outside. I would know. I was just out there and it kind of sucks.
I love it.
I'm glad you love it. The high today is 96. The low tonight drops down to 66. Tomorrow will be mostly cloudy, and in the afternoon we have a 20% chance of some storms. Then tomorrow night, San Angelo has a 10% chance of severe thunderstorms. The low will be around 69.
Sunday sort of mirrors Saturday, cloudy throughout the day, 20% chance of rain in the afternoon. The high will be up around 96, and the low Sunday night will be 70. We also have a slight chance of storms that night as well. On Monday, it's going to be hot again with a high up around 98, and Monday night will be 65.
Yep, break out the sunscreen. You don't have to, but I'm going to.
I got burnt yesterday during those interviews.
Oh, you did? So
I did.
I'm sorry, that's my fault.
No, that's okay. It's okay.
We'll be right back after this quick word from Conno's Diamonds and Coins.
When it comes to unique pieces you can't find anywhere else, Conno's Diamonds and Coins is your one-stop shop. With over 24 years in the diamond and coin industry, Conno's Diamonds and Coins is West Texas's choice for diamonds, jewelry, coins, silver, and gold. Owner Bill Conno stands by his work and offers free consultations, including estate jewelry. Don't just trust anyone with your valuables. Come see the staff at Conno's at 1016 West Beauregard in San Angelo.
Thank you for watching the Live Daily News Show.
The only locally owned news show in the Contra Valley.
Go like us on Facebook, X, and other social media platforms.
And download the San Angelo Live mobile app.
For the live team, I'm James Bellini.